everyone, my name is Vishal Singh and I'll be teaching you chess today. So in the previous class, we are still doing defending by protecting your piece. It is quite actually a big topic and needs a lot of explanation and need a lot of you need to keep an eye on your pieces to know if your piece is under attack and what and how can you protect your piece. So we'll be continuing that today as well. So let's begin with the class. All right. I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay. So I'm not sure if we completed this puzzle, but I'll wrap it up really quickly. If I remember, we did complete this puzzle. So the answer was quite simple. You're playing as black. You need to play your pawn to f6 in order to protect your knight using your bishop because the enemy bishop was attacking your knight. So as soon as you move your pawn out of the way, it is automatic. Your bishop will then be automatically be protecting your knight. It will be supporting your knight. So that was the answer. The answer was quite simple. Pawn to f5. Got it? Okay. Now that we're done with this, let's move on to the next one. Okay. So you're playing as white over here. Go pause the video. You're playing as white. Look which of your pieces under attack. It is not always a big piece. Always keep that in mind. It is not always the big piece that is under attack, and what and how and what you can do in order to protect it, and then come back and play the game. Okay, now that hopefully I'm thinking you did pause the video. You think you did see which of your pieces under attack and you came up with the solution. Now let's see if our solution does match. So the piece that is under attack it's obvious it is not any of the pieces here at bottom, right? So these are protected in a line, and this pawn here itself is protected by the bishop. So these are safe. The rook is protected. These two are protected as well. Like the only piece that is not protected is this pawn here at e5. What is it being threatened by at the moment? The knight. The knight can jump over pieces, remember? So it is being threatened by the knight. It is not protected by anything. The rook cannot move diagonally, so it is not protecting the pawn at the moment. What can you do? Think. You cannot move your rook over here. It will be captured by the bishop. So by the pawn, sorry. So that is not a good option. You'll be losing 5 points for absolutely nothing. You cannot move your rook here at e4 either. Again, the pawn will capture your rook. It's not worth giving away a rook just to save your pawn, right? And you wouldn't even be saving it. You'll be just giving away your rook and your pawn. So rather than losing 1 point, you will be losing how many? 6. Does that sound good? No, right? So definitely utilizing your rook out of the option. King is way too far at the moment to reach over there. And besides, it cannot even go there. Why the pawns here are occupying these areas? So we'll need to go around something like this. Even that is not option. Utilizing the king and the rook is out of the option. So what can we do? The pawn here is in a black box. We have a bishop which is in a black box. Just as in the previous example I showed you, the bishop moves diagonally and the pawn is already in its path, but the path is being blocked by what? Your own piece. What is your own piece? Rook, right? So can we move our rook up in order to save it? No, it will be captured, right? We cannot move it here due to the pawn, not over here due to another pawn and the king, not over any other two blocks. Why? Because of the king again. Moving towards the right, definitely not an option. These pawns are occupying all the 4 blocks as their attack range. So not a good option. Moving towards the right. Moving towards the left, again not a good option for the rook. So the only place that we can save our pawn at the same time, make sure our rook is safe. How did we make sure our rook will be safe? This is defending by moving away. Remember the previous exercise we did. This is how we know where should I move my rook. So now that we know by moving down, my rook will still be safe without any consequences. We can move our rook to d3. Now the rook is safe and our pawn is being supported at the same time. So that is the answer. The answer was not quite simple, but once you give it a thought, it is quite simple. The answer is rook to d3. Got it? All right, let's move ahead. Okay. So you're playing as white over here, and okay, that is it. Pause the video. Luckily, I did not give away the answer. Pause the video, see which of your pieces is under attack, come up with a possible solution, and then come back. I want you guys to think. All right. So these three seem to be completely safe, right? The bishop and the king seem to be safe as well. The knight is safe, so are these pawn. Even this is safe. Why? Because it is totally in your area, in your own territory. There's nothing attacking it from outside. The only piece that is not safe at the moment is this pawn here at a5. What is threatening it? The rook is. What can we do in order to protect it? The knight cannot move in diagonal manner. This pawn cannot protect it because it can only support or attack in a diagonal manner. The pawn only moves ahead in a straight line. So utilizing the pawn, this pawn is out of the way. Utilizing this knight is out of the way. King is way too far to reach there in time. Definitely out of the way. The bishop can be utilized, right? Why? Our piece that we want to protect is in a black box, and our bishop is in a black box too. And the pawn seems to be in a perfectly aligned path that it needs to be in order to be protected. But the only obstacle is our own piece, the knight, our own white horse. So what do we need to do? Just as in the previous two examples, we need to get the knight out of the way. That is all you need to do in order to protect this pawn here at a5. So the answer is quite simple. It By the way, remember protecting by moving away. We cannot carelessly move our knight anywhere. If we move it here at uh, b1, it will be captured by the enemy bishop directly, and we'll be losing 3 points for nothing. So not a good option. We cannot move here at a4 either. Why? The enemy pawn will capture us. Neither can we move here at d4. The enemy pawn will capture us. So not a good option. The only place left for us to jump would be the place here at e2. Got it? So our answer is quite simple. Knight to e2. Once we play that, our pawn is protected, and so is our knight. We did not carelessly move it to any place. Got it? Very simple. Let's move ahead. Okay, this is a little tricky. So in this, you are playing as black. Remember, you're playing as black. That is it. That is all I'm going to tell you. Please pause the video. Look very carefully which of your pieces are being attacked, and what can you do in order to save them in one. Got it? So pause the video, look at it carefully, analyze it, come up with a solution, and then come back and play the video. Okay. So you're playing as black, and these three pawns seem to be completely safe. Your queen seems to be under attack, but it's fine. You can easily move that away. So your queen seems to be under attack. These are fine because this would be a completely equal exchange again, not a big thing. So your knight seems to be under attack. That would be a completely free piece. So the knight is something to worry about, and so is your pawn here at a5. So these two are the things that are being attacked at the moment. What can you do in order to protect them? Think. Okay. The answer would be, if you see, even your queen is being under attack, so we need to take that into account as well. What will we do? We utilize our queen in order to protect these two. The queen can move in a lot of ways, remember. So as soon as we move our queen to b6, what happens then? It can protect the pawn and the knight at the same time, correct? So our answer would be quite simple. It would be queen to b6. And once the queen is at b6, we in return, now we have the support of a bishop, and we can in return try to enter into the enemy territory using the support of the bishop with the queen. That would be absolutely, we would be absolutely destroying the defense of the enemy. So that would be a great move to play. But over here, the basic strategy was to safeguard two of your pieces, the bishop and the pawn, which we did accomplish using our queen. Why? Because even that was under a threat. So we saved our queen, we saved our knight, and we also saved our pawn. Got it? So that was all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys take this information in and utilize it in the actual game. So that was all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye. See you in the next class.